No, but it isn't really good.
It isn't really good.
All of the wars going on around the world are linked to due to capitalism.
All of the wars?
All of the wars. It's not to do with religion, it's all to do with capitalism.
Go on, say some more.
كن سعيدا كن فريدا عش بفخر في الحياة لا تبالي فالمعالي بالتحدي.
I have to forward it all the way to get to the end.
Wait, a lot of things in the Bible don't make sense to many people.
Yeah.
But a Christian would say you have to have faith. You have to believe the Bible is true, and they do believe the Bible is true. So they believe what is written in the Bible, and that Jesus was the Son of God, and they believe if they follow what the Bible says, they will go to heaven.
See, we Muslims believe you shouldn't have blind faith. God has given you a brain, and God says in the Quran as well, look, I've given you a brain, use your brain, go get some knowledge. Don't be like a duffer. You know what I mean? Don't be a dunce, basically.
I'm not saying they're duffers, but they have faith in what said in the Bible is what you should do, what is true.
You see, because they don't want to accept, a lot of people, they don't want to accept that, look, my dad or my granddad was worshipping a man, and so now he's probably gone to hell. So, you know, they want to carry on the tradition of their forefathers.
Isn't that true? Isn't that good?
To carry on the tradition of your forefathers.
Yeah.
If that,
your father did, you would do.
What if that tradition is taking you to hell?
No. If your father was a bad man, and you think he was always drinking and smoking and gambling and getting in fights and killing people, he has gone to hell. I do not want to go to hell. I will not be like him.
So, yeah, but what if his belief took him to hell?
His belief took him to hell?
Yes.
What, because he believed in the Christian Bible?
He believed that Jesus was the Son of God. He believed God had a son.
Yeah. If that was his belief...
Or he created an idol to worship, wherever,
If that was his belief, his son would believe he's gone to heaven. Rightly or wrongly, because that's what the Christian Bible says.
And so it would be harder for that person to come to Islam, right? When Islam is saying, look, that guy that he used to believe in this has gone to hell. Is going to go to hell, most likely.
Yes, it would be hard, because what you're saying is Islam is right and everyone else is wrong in the world.
Yes.
But also the Christians saying Christianity is right, everyone else is wrong.
But Christianity makes no sense.
No, the Catholics saying being a Catholic is right, everything else is wrong. The Jews saying the Jewish religion is the only religion that's right, everybody else is wrong. They're all doing it. Yeah.
But Jews don't go out and convert people to Judaism. So, you know, there's no point really even bringing up Judaism because they're not polytheized.
They go out and convert, but I'm saying every religion thinks theirs is the correct religion, and every other religion is wrong.
So from the Abrahamic faiths, there's only two religions which actively, you know, polytheize and, you know, try to get new converts, right? One is Christianity and the other is Islam. Yes?
Right.
Okay, so Islam is saying there is only one God, right? Just like what the Jews taught, whereas the Christians are saying, look, here's the biblical doctrine of, you know, Trinity, which no prophet has ever taught except Paul.
Right.
Yes? So then the Muslims would say, look, if you go back and from the beginning of time, from what Adam taught all the way down to what Jesus actually taught and what Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, actually taught, you will see that there is no mention of Trinity. There's no mention of Father, Son, Holy Spirit as in being...
Except in that one chapter, that one book.
Yeah, except in that one book, making up the Trinity. Do you know what I mean? So, so is it more logical that that God would hide this fact from all the prophets until Paul, and then explain it to Paul, who wasn't and no one else? Which does that make sense?
Right. If you go back, if you go back in history, there's loads of books of the Bible which aren't in the Bible.
Yeah, Thomas and all that. Yeah, Barabbas.
There's loads of them.
Yeah, of course.
Loads of them.
Because they did not support. They did not support the divinity doctrine of Jesus.
Right. So they're very, very selective.
Exactly. There you go. So that means that they were pushing the divinity doctrine of Jesus, even though the other disciples would not on that. So they pick and mixed to push the divinity message because Paul taught that message.
Right. Still strange though that you're saying what you're saying.
What would it take for you to become Muslim? What would it take, not become Muslim, but what would it take for you to believe that there is only one God? Because like I said to you, the minimum requirement of faith, right, that Islam
I believe there was
has.
a creator of some sort. It's beyond my belief how he did it or who he is or anything. But
So you would say
it makes sense.
you're
It
a
makes
monotheist?
sense. There was one.
So you would say you're a
But I
monotheist?
wouldn't say I was religious.
No, you'd have to be, I'm not saying you're religious. I'm just saying so you would believe that there is
I
only
would
one.
like to think that there was something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you would say you believe that there's only one creator, yeah?
Yes, but also I believe that when you're dead, you're dead. That is the end.
Why do you believe that? What's the point of it then? What's the point of it all?
What's the point of it all?
Yeah, of the whole of this. What's the point of life?
I can't give you an answer to that. Only God can tell you that.
God has told us that.
But I can't give you an answer.
God has told us the purpose of life.
Well, it's what?
It's to worship Him, the Creator.
Right.
And that doesn't mean you get down on your hands and knees and pray 5 times a day,
Right.
all the time, and that's it.
As an atheist, though,
It means when you're alive, and now we're having a talk, and I'm conveying some, knowledge to you. I'm worshiping God. When I look after my family, I'm worshiping God. When I give the charity, I'm worshiping God. When I give a child a smile, I'm worshiping God. You know what I mean?
doing kind things.
Yes, that's worshiping God. It's not just praying 5 times a day.
Right.
That is reminding yourself that God is worthy of worship, right? Because when you got your footballers and you see a footballer, you're like, wow, he's amazing, he's so great, whatever, right? So when you're praying, you're saying that to God, God, you're the most amazing, you're the most forgiving, you're the most generous, you're this and that. That's to remind yourself of what God is, because God doesn't need your praise, right? He already knows how he's whatever. So
It's to remind you.
It's to remind you of what God
you don't
is,
forget.
so you don't forget.
Right.
And now we would say that the devil is there, right? And he's there, he's all around us all the time, constantly whispering to us, do this evil thing, do that evil thing, do this evil thing, do that evil thing, do this evil thing, do that evil thing, wherever. So if this guy is your enemy, he's your ardent enemy, he hates your guts. He hates you so much. You can't even imagine how much he hates you. Okay? He's going to be constantly trying to take you with him to hell. Right? Hypothetically. Okay, yeah? So, if that 5 times a day of prayer is going to help protect you from him, isn't it worth it?
If you believe in God, if you believe in heaven, if you believe as an atheist that once you're dead,
that's why I asked you.
There is no
Let me just turn the light on. That's why I asked you, is there any point?
Is there any point?
Yeah. What's the point to it all?
I can't give you an answer to that. But if there is a God, as you say there is a God, why is there so much misery and suffering in the world? The little child is born.
Freedom of choice.
No, the little child is born, 6 months later he dies. He had a terminal illness when he was born.
Yeah.
If there was a God, surely he would have not done that to the little child.
Then this would be paradise. What's the point of it?
Sorry?
Then the world would be a paradise, wouldn't it? If there was no famine, no death, no destruction, none of these things, this world would be a paradise.
Dying of hunger isn't very pleasant.
But that's a man-made situation. God didn't create that situation.
All right, the little baby who's born with deformities and dies within 6 months, a year.
Yes.
The baby's done no harm.
We would say he's in heaven. He's in heaven. What's
For the
6
rest
months?
of his life?
Yeah, for the rest of his life. For the rest of his life. What's 6 months on earth and then the rest of the time you're in heaven? I was seriously ill and I was in a lot of pain for about a year or something like that. So all of that suffering I had is beneficial to me in the long run when I get upstairs. You know what I mean? Because that was there as a thing from God.
Well, I would say that's an easy answer to say, yeah.
Can you have good without evil?
Can you have good without evil?
Can you have the light without the darkness? If everything is lightness all the time.
They go together. They're pairs.
Exactly, there you go. There you go. So goodness goes with evil. So hunger goes with gluttony. You know what I mean?
Hunger goes with gluttony.
Yeah, because some people
are starving in the world.
Because other people are greedy.
What about the baby? Getting back to the baby who's born deformed and dies within 6 months or a year. Is in pain, and they have to turn off the resuscitation machines because there's no future.
Yeah, exactly. So I told you already, he's upstairs with God, or she's upstairs with God.
But that's an easy answer from your point of view.
Of course it is. But but like you said before, you believe there's a creator, but you do not believe there's an afterlife, right? So why would a just creator create the baby to suffer here, but not having the reward after it's passed away?
And that's the answer.
No, I'm just asking you.
That's your answer?
That's my answer, yes.
That seems too easy an answer.
But it's the correct answer. That's why, because it's easy does not mean it's not correct.
Well, just because the majority do so, doesn't mean they're right. As in, majority of people are Christians.
Exactly, there you go.
Doesn't mean they're right, though.
But if we look at it logically, first thing, you agree that there's a creator.
Some sort of creator. I can't put my mind.
Yeah, okay. You don't know what the creator is or anything, but you logically agree that there's a creator, right? Okay. Then you said that this baby had died on Earth, right? Yeah. And because you do not believe there's an afterlife. Yeah. So if there was a creator, the creator would be just, wouldn't he?
Would be just.
He's not going to be unjust, is he? If he was unjust, then why even bother?
Wait. What if I said someone, something created the world? Yep. Doesn't mean he's still around now.
So what happened to him? He died.
I wouldn't say he died. He's not around now.
And then where is he? Is he aware? Is he aware of what's going on?
He's not around. He doesn't. He's not here. He doesn't exist.
So he doesn't exist.
No, he's gone.
So he's dead.
Well, dead's a funny word, isn't it? Because if he's dead, where is he? Heaven or hell?
So exactly. So God does not die or live, does he? For us.
I can't give you an answer as to where he is.
God does not die or live. God is outside. In Islamic tradition, God is outside of his creation.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So God is not inside of the creation.
No, he's outside.
He's outside of the creation, right? So
it's very hard to visualize.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah?
So
for a
God
human
is
being to do that.
because God is beyond our comprehension.
Completely.
Completely.
Yes.
All right. So even on that basis, when we try to visualize what God could be, and our minds are limited to it.
Very limited, yeah.
Very limited to it. You could, from then, if you wanted to see the science, extrapolate that, look at this, there's something out there that is beyond our imagination, our rationale to understand.
Right, where is heaven?
Where is heaven?
Yeah.
Outside of this existence.
And where is hell?
Outside of this existence.
That's an easy answer.
It's not. It's because, of course, yeah. But you see, it's an easy answer because it makes sense. Like, where are we going to find hell? Or are we going to find hell in our universe? Or is heaven going to be in our universe?
Goes to heaven.
Whatever God decides.
Your soul.
Our physical bodies, maybe. Because God will resurrect us.
Wait a minute. If you're buried in the ground,
yes,
you could see the physical body.
Yeah. So if God already made you from dust, yeah, it's no bother for him to recreate you from that dust, is he?
But that body would stay there. If I put a body in the ground, that body would stay
until the day of resurrection, where every man was resurrected and every woman is resurrected.
And that body was soul. Well, yeah, I'm saying the soul.
The soul is always alive. The body.
Not to an atheist.
The body will decay in there.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Your
soul will always be alive in the grave.
Like to an atheist, there is no soul.
And they all go through the torment or not torment, depending on how it was in this earth.
Heaven or hell.
No. There's punishments of the grave.
Right.
Okay, in Islam, there's punishments of the grave. So if you're a good guy, you won't get punished in the grave. If you weren't a good guy, you get punished in the grave before the even punishments start on the Day of Judgment and Judgment Day's punishment and the punishment of hell.
Right, but to an atheist like me, that doesn't exist. So, there is no soul.
Yes, there is no soul.
There is no soul. There is no soul. There is no heaven. There is no earth to go to.
Yes.
I'm an atheist. I believe that something, which I can't.
Well, you're not an atheist. You already said you believe that there was a creator.
Something created it.
Yeah.
I can't say what more than that. Yeah. Something created it. But I don't believe in heaven. I don't believe in hell. I don't believe in a soul. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yes.
Personally. But I'm just surprised if Christianity is the biggest religion, if you're saying it's got all these faults, errors in it.
Yeah, of course.
But
like I said to you before, when those numbers are calculated, they don't even calculate how many people are actual Christians. They generally calculate to how many people there are in the nation that would be classified as a Christian nation.
When you get to big numbers, like someone said, Notting Hill Carnival, 1 million people.
Yeah.
You can't count it.
No, you can't.
Because they're moving all the time, aren't they? Yeah.
Exactly.
So I agree. You can't get exact numbers when you get to big figures. But the numbers
if you actually calculate it, you'll see there's no way there's that many Christians.
No. But when you start thinking about it, the Muslim is not the majority of the religion. Yeah,
of course, not yet, but it will be. It's already been said it'll be the majority religion in like 20 years. It will be. It'll be the majority religion in 20 years. We have the largest youth demographics all over the world. If you count just the youth and not the old people...
No. When you say the largest religion, I'm on about the majority of people would be with it, not the largest religion.
There'll be the majority of people will be with Islam.
out of the 6.3 billion people, we should be up to 7 billion people in 2000 and whatever you said. Most of those
will be Muslim. Yes.
That's quite a statement to make.
No, it's already been calculated because you see, Muslims we're having okay. In their society, right?
Do you have to go to prayer?
No, because I'm talking to you right now. So basically, if I wasn't talking to you right now, I'd have to go to prayer. But I'm talking to you, so I don't have to. All right? There's okay. So there is a number where if a society drops below this number, there's a population decline.
Yeah.
And I believe that number is 1.8 children.
Oh right, average, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Western Christian society has dropped below that 1.8.
Right.
It's irreversible once it drops below 1.8.
Yeah, go on.
In the Islamic world, it's
higher.
It's higher. So the Christian demographics are decreasing. It's virtually impossible to change that demographic.
No, I'm not disagreeing with any of that. You're saying the Muslim religion will overtake the Christian religion in numbers.
Yes.
Yeah? I'm saying you still got all the other religions in the world.
Yeah.
They do not believe in Islamic religion, the Muslim religion.
It's not my problem, that's their problem.
No. So you're still a small minority compared to the rest of the world.
Yeah, but then we will be the largest faith in the world.
Doesn't matter. You're still in this minority.
Of course we are.
Compared with everyone else.
But the majority is never usually correct anyway.
That's not a sensible argument.
But it's the truth though. The majority is never generally correct. Never go with the majority. But the other thing is, okay, look, all right, we already agreed. You said you're an atheist. We already agreed that look, there is definitely one. There's something that created everything, right?
Something.
Okay. So it's something
individual. One.
Individual. Yes. There's not going to be three because they're going to
work.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Exactly. So there's going to be only one creator. Okay. Now this creator, to let people know that he exists and he created man, he's obviously going to send them like some messages. You know what I mean? He's not going to send it to you on a letter.
No.
He's going to send
signs.
Yes. So you know the easiest way to do it would be to send men to say, look, here's what the truth is. Because if the angels came down and everybody saw the angels, there'll be no requirement for faith, because faith.
It'd be obvious.
Yes, exactly. So you need to have something for faith. You know, every person in them has that. Look, there is something greater than me.
Yeah.
Okay. This is God-given. God has put that inside everybody, because we believe that every single man, woman, and child was brought forth before we were put here on earth, or before we were born. We were all brought forth from the loins of Adam. Yeah?
Adam and Eve, yeah?
From the loins of Adam, yeah. We were all brought forth through Adam, and God asked every single man and woman and child, or whatever, you know, man and woman, because there's no children.
You're not going to get in trouble, are you?
No. God asked every single person, you know, will you believe in me? Or, you know, do you believe in me? And every person there said, yes, God, I will believe in you, whatever. Yeah. And that's where God put the, the innate nature of belief in something greater than us in humanity. But then it was all wiped out from your memory. You know what I mean? Because if you can remember, God asked me this question.
Yeah.
You're going to do anything that God asked you to, aren't you? Because you're going to know, oh my God, wow, you know, how can I do anything bad? You know what I mean? God is like this, God is like that. You know, I've seen God or whatever. I remember God, you know. So instead of letting us remember God, He gave us the innate disposition to recognize that there is something greater than us.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, if we recognize that there's something greater than us, then we should go out there and see what makes the most sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because Islam came from, you know, the Middle East, Judaism came from the Middle East, Christianity came from the Middle East, okay? There is no difference from where it came from.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. If the truth is the truth, then you should listen to it. You know what I mean?
But a Buddhist would argue it came from India. Buddhism is the only way of religion.
Yeah, Buddhism came from India.
No, he'd argue this is the correct way, everywhere else is wrong.
But Buddhism, it doesn't make sense.
I haven't studied Buddhism. I know people who are Buddhists, but I haven't studied.
Yeah, Buddhism doesn't make sense. You can't have, you know,
but to a Buddhist, it does make sense.
Yes, because, you know, it's like, what's it called?
Wait, just a minute. You're saying Christianity doesn't make sense to you, but to a Christian, it makes 100% sense.
But you see, okay, let's get rid of everything. We get rid of the Bible, we get rid of the Quran, we get rid of all the books, all the religious scripture, and we just use logic only. Then, is it more likely that there is one creator who is only one, or is it more likely that there is one creator who manifests himself in 3 or 4 different beings?
What, as in the God, the Son, God, the Holy Spirit, and
whatever.
God.
Or as an elephant head, or as in a monkey god, or anything. which makes more sense?
Which makes more sense?
Yes, that God would manifest himself as one, or that God would manifest himself as 1 in 3, or 3 in 1, or 1 in 6, or 6 in 1, or 1 in 3,000, wherever. All that makes sense that God is that one and he's a whole one with no partner.
Only one.
Yes, which makes more sense.
I can't give you a simple answer to that because God can do whatever he wants to do.
Yes,
if
but
he wanted to come to earth as a man,
yes,
man characteristics,
yes,
no one's going to stop him.
Now, of course,
yeah?
but like I said to you before,
is it logic?
It's illogical because God already knows what the human experience is. He already knows what all of this stuff is. He already knows if God
created it.
Exactly. So if God wants to forgive humanity, he can just say you're forgiven. He doesn't need to kill himself to forgive people. So logically, it does not make sense. So and you know, he's not going to poop and pee and wherever. You know what I mean? It's God. You know, he's not coming here to poop and pee. He doesn't need to know what it's like to poop and pee. You know what I mean?
He wants to be in the human body.
Why?
All the human character. I can't tell you why God chooses to do what God chooses
so does that
to do,
make sense? Why is God going to limit himself and put himself down of the human being? Because you know what? That's arrogance from man. Think, oh, we are so special that God has to see what the human experience is like. We are so special. Where I already told you, in Islamically, we're not special. You know what I mean? The universe is a more worthy creation than humanity. Earth is a more worthy creation than humanity. You know what I mean? We're not the first creation of God. Do you know what I mean? The angels existed before man.
We as a human being
yes,
is not the first creation.
Yes, we're not the first creation.
The world for you, human to go on to.
Yes, the earth was here before God created man. Because
the world must have come first, otherwise
yes,
where would the man have gone to?
Yes.
Yes, I agree. Man was not number one.
No,
it would be illogical.
Exactly, there you go.
Yes?
So, God created, from the Islamic perspective, God, you know, he created the angels and he created the Jinn. You know, the Christians would say they're demons.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but we would say they were Jinn, you know, without smokeless. They were made from a light that we cannot see.
Yeah.
Smokeless fire, we cannot see. Yeah, the angels are made from a light that we cannot see, and the Jinn are made from a smokeless fire. Yeah, we cannot see that either, we cannot perceive it. They can see us, but we can't see them. In the same way, you know, a dog can smell a smell that you cannot smell. You know what I mean? Because it senses our height or whatever. In that same way, the angels...
And they can hear.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So in the same way, their senses are superior to ours in some aspects. Okay. All right. So God has created them first. Now the Jinn, you know, the Jinn, they were here on Earth before man. Yeah. And there was one Jinn that Muslims believe, right? And he was like, you know, he worshipped God like you know, like no one's business. You know what I mean? Yeah. He worshipped God. You know, you couldn't.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. He was very, very pious, whatever. Right? And this was the devil. He became the devil. He was a jinn. We do not believe he was a fallen angel. Yeah. Okay, we believe that angels have no freedom of choice. Yeah. God says to them, jump, they jump. Yeah. They don't say why.
Yeah, they always agree with you.
Yeah,
they never disagree.
No, they do disagree. Right. Sometimes they have. They've asked him questions like, why are you going to create humanity, but it's going to when it's going to destroy the earth, spill blood on the earth, wherever. And God said to them, I know things that you don't know. Yeah. You know what I mean? The angels only know what God has taught them. Yeah. Okay? The jinn, they know things as well. They can learn things, right? And they understand things forever. But they've also seen God. They know God exists, yeah? Whereas mankind has never seen God. Right. Like, you know, they've seen him in the time before time, but, you know, so they've got that innate disposition, but, you know, they've never seen God here where they can remember or know, whatever. They've never seen God.
It's not in their mind.
It's not in their mind to see what God looks like or anything like that. So they've only got the innate disposition, right? So God, okay, so out of these three creations, you've got two creations. One has seen God and has no freedom of choice. One has, you know, knows God exists, has seen God wherever, has freedom of choice. And then you have mankind, humanity. Freedom of choice, have never seen God exists in the current state of our existence, right? And out of all of these, you know, God has picked us to go to heaven. And the reason...
Us being the Muslim.
Humanity.
Right.
And the reason for that is because we have never seen God or have understood God except in the innate disposition and from the messages that God has sent us. So from the faith that we have that God is there, God exists, He created us, that is going to be the catalyst to take you to heaven. God is not, you're not guaranteed to go to heaven in Islam. You know, Christians say, oh, we're guaranteed. Jesus died for our sins. What, Hitler's going to heaven as well? Yeah, God died for his sins. You know what I mean? In Islam, you've got to do good things, and you know, and God will decide if you're going to go to heaven or hell based on, you know, your heart, your intention.
Christian would say the same. He has to do good things on life.
No,
Be a bank robber and shoot people.
Christians would say that from your works alone, you cannot go to heaven. Right? That's how they say to Muslims. Oh, Muslims say we'll go to heaven from our works. You know.
Works. W-O-R-K-S.
Yeah, W-R-X. You know, W-O-R-K-S. From your works. Yeah, from your works. From your good works.
From your good deeds.
Sorry. Yeah.
Right, from your good charitable deeds.
Yes.
Right,
so Christians will say, oh, you know, from your good deeds alone, you will not go to heaven. You have to believe Jesus died from your sins.
Yeah.
Where Muslims will say, from your good deeds alone, you will also not just go to heaven.
Yeah.
You have to be humble. You cannot be arrogant.
Yes.
You know, there'll be like we have a story that there was that on Judgment Day, on Yom Kippur or wherever, the man, he was very pious, very humble. He came to God and he said, "Oh God, look at all my deeds."
Yeah.
You know, and God said, "Oh, I will let you into heaven from my mercy." And the man's like, "No, I want to use my deeds to get into heaven." So God says, "Okay, I'll put the you know the mercy that I gave you from your eyes alone on the scale, and we'll put all your good deeds on the scale, and just the mercy of your eyesight alone will outweigh all the good deeds you did." So from that you can see
that he did a lot of good deeds.
No, he did tons of good deeds. Yeah, but how powerful that mercy of God was just from your eyes alone. It outweighed all the good deeds he did. You know what I mean? So that is showing you that it's not just your good deeds alone that will get you into heaven. If you're arrogant, you're not going to get into heaven. You have to be humble to get into heaven. You know what I mean? It's not just good deeds alone. God will give you the permission to go to heaven or not. You know, and even like how I said to you earlier, in Islam, the minimum requirement of faith for you to even get, you know, a chance to argue your case against God, is listen, you know, God, there is only one God, and there is a day of judgment. Okay, everything else, we can just put that to a side right now. So if you died tonight and you just believe that there is one God and there is a day of judgment, God would give you a chance on the day of judgment to make your case.
The opportunity.
Yes, to make your case. But if you believe, and because you heard about Islam, so you would have the opportunity. Because maybe I can explain it to you correctly, other people can't explain it to you correctly, you can't comprehend it, whatever, you know? So there's no sin on you for that. But if you believe in that God made me, God didn't, you know, I came out of nothing, God, you know, there's no existence, wherever, there's no this, there's no that, etc., then God doesn't owe you anything. You know what I mean? Why does God owe you something? You know, He created you, He's your owner, He's your master, He's everything. You're nothing. You know what I mean? You know, there's a mosquito. You know, you're nothing. It's called, you're nothing. Do you know what I mean? So I would rather say it's an atheist delusion than a religious delusion. You know what I mean? Because, you know, the atheist is deluded into believing that I've got all of this thing inside of me, this spirit, this soul, or whatever you want to call it, this knowledge, this conscience, all of these attributes, you know, which are unexplainable. I can learn how electricity was created. I can build a space shuttle. I can build mobile phones. I can do this. I can do that. Where did all this knowledge come from? You know? To use the minerals that are under the ground, to use, you know, the leaves, or to, you know, look at the trees and from trees learn about how solar panels and all these things, you know, chlorophyll, and then to make our own electronic, you know, versions of these. You know, all of this knowledge was given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God, you know. We Muslims, we do not believe in copyright. You know, you have copyright. Because we don't believe in that, because we believe all knowledge is inspired by God. So you have no right to use that God-given inspiration to exploit your fellow man.
I don't know how you get around not recognising copyright.
Why?
You take the court.
No. Obviously, because right now we have the Christian system, right? Around the world, we don't have a Muslim system. We have the Christian system, the capitalist system, which is screw over the weak and take from them. That's capitalism, really.
It's not really.
It is. Hold on, let me check if it's true. Yeah, like I said.
I believe.
Well, no, look at this. This is what Christianity teaches, right? Okay, in the Bible, it says you can exploit the poor by giving them alcohol. Yeah, in Proverbs.
I'm an atheist.
Oh, you're an atheist. I'm explaining to you. I'm telling you about the system around the world, right? So, and how the Christian system is destroying the world. Okay, so in the Bible, it says that give the poor alcohol, so they do not remember they're poor. And to the rich, it's saying do not get drunk, do not drink alcohol, so you can continue to exploit the poor. Okay? And also in the Bible, it says to use interest-based economics against foreigners to keep them down.
I didn't know this.
It does, it's in the Bible. So Now the Bible is saying exploit the poor and the foreigners with alcohol and interest. So when Christians went to South America and North America, the first thing they did was they used the Bible and they gave the Native Americans alcohol.
Right.
And when they went to the Aborigines in Australia, the first thing they did was they used the Bible and they gave them alcohol.
Right.
Yes, get them addicted to alcoholics, get them addicted to alcohol, fire water they used to call it, yeah? Get them addicted to the alcohol wherever and then take over their land using exploitative business practices. Because that's what Christianity taught, right? Whereas Islam is teaching that, listen, get rid of these evils, get rid of these vices that destroy society, okay, and live in a harmonious way. You know what I mean?
It's very different to what I'm used to.
Yeah.
I believe in capitalism.
Yeah.
I'm an atheist, but I think capitalism is very good. It's not perfect, and just because someone is bad and use capitalism to rob someone as such, doesn't mean capitalism is wrong,
a mix.
Yeah.
Islam is a mix of capitalism and socialism.
Right.
Okay? We do not believe in exploitative practices of capitalism.
I don't believe in that either. But on the whole, capitalism is very good.
No, but it isn't really good.
It isn't really good.
All of the wars going on around the world are linked to due to capitalism.
All of the wars.
All of the wars. It's not to do with religion, it's all to do with capitalism.
Go on, say some more.
Okay. The United States is pure capitalism, right?
Yeah, they got big arms.
No, forget about that. Forget that arms. Forget that the arms. Forget them. They're dollar currency.
Yeah.
It's all linked to interest-based economics, right?
Right.
Okay. Now the dollar has nothing actually backing it. It's an artificial commodity.
Right.
Okay. Now to protect the dollar and to make sure that America does not go bankrupt, the American government, yes, it has to invade other countries to control those countries' resources and to control those countries' leaders.
Right.
Okay, to make sure that the global petrocurrency always remains as the dollar.
Right.
Because the dollar, trillions of them have been printed.
Yeah.
You need
nothing to back it up.
With nothing to back it up. You need oil. You need oil. You have to buy in dollars.
Yeah.
So that makes the dollar an artificial commodity.
Right.
Okay. Now, if you no longer needed dollars to buy oil, none of the world's governments would need to keep dollars, would they?
Right.
So they could dump all of those dollars on the open market, right? And what would that do? That would cause hyperinflation.
Yeah.
Yes, because all of this money is now in the market. So for this not to happen, America and capitalism needs continuous warfare.
Right. I'll talk to you about capitalism.
Go for it.
If I can. Yes? I went to China.
Yep.
And there was little farms, very poor people in this farm area. Someone took me in a car, and there's a brand new tractor there.
Yeah.
I said, how come you got a brand new tractor?
Yeah.
He went down the bank, he borrowed money, buys a brand new tractor.
That's not capitalism.
Wait a minute. He then rents it out to his neighbours to plough their fields. He charges them money so he can pay back the bank with interest to the bank. I say that's capitalism. That's not. That's not communism. You're living in a communist country. She said, "We love capitalism. Capitalism is brilliant."
No. You see, what you're mixing up is access to money and access to resources as capitalism. That's not capitalism.
Capitalism is you can't buy the tractor yourself. You borrow the money from the bank, pay interest to buy the tractor.
Yes.
You don't own the tractor.
Islamically,
you have to borrow the money.
Islamically, you would also borrow the money from the bank.
But you have to pay interest.
No interest.
No. In China, the bank would not pay you, give you the money unless you paid him interest.
In Islam, there is no interest.
No, I understand that.
What's interest? Where does the wealth come from without interest? That's why you have inflation, right?
Because of interest?
Yes.
Right, the bank would not lend the money in China to that man unless he paid him interest.
No, but if Islamically, it would be an investment.
They don't do interest.
No, there's no interest. There's no interest, no inflation.
In England, now, today, if you go to university, you borrow the money from the British government as a grant, as a loan.
I believe, personally...
I think you pay 6.5% interest.
Personally, I believe that the government brought that in is because they don't want Muslims to go to university. Because they know it's haram for Muslims to take interest-based loans, and so they brought that in to try and stop the Muslim youth to go and get further education.
I don't think that's the answer.
It's the truth.
I don't think that is the truth.
It is the truth.
No.
I believe that's the reason why they did it. Okay? And
so how does a Muslim go to university?
Listen to this. What they also did, right, was Muslims go to university. Some take the loan. Some take the loan.
When you say what they want, who do you mean by they?
The government.
British government.
Yeah. It brought in the interest. It brought in this to try and stop more Muslims from going to university, because the Muslim girls and Muslim boys, their numbers are now slowly going up. Not as many Muslim boys went to university, but Muslim girls, it's crazy high. You know what I mean? Like,
going to university?
Yes, a lot of Muslim girls go to university.
Who pays for it?
Before this, it was the government grants, wasn't it?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
But
today, you got to save up that money. So, you know, a Muslim got a kid or whatever, he's got to take...
from a young age, you'd have to save?
No. So after you did your college, whatever, and you'd have to take maybe a year or two out, saving up the money to pay for your fees. You know what I mean?
You get a job, sort of.
Exactly, right. So, whereas the non-Muslim person, they can just go straight on to university, so the Muslim person has lost a year. From our perspective, from the state perspective, it will be free education. There is no need to pay, okay? And the other thing is, when you go to higher education, you're benefiting society in the future when you get your higher education. So you're being taxed by the government to benefit society.
Right, can we slow down a bit, please?
Go for it, yeah.
Right. When you go and get a degree...
Yes.
You are then able to go anywhere in the world and get a job. So if you went to America with your degree and used it, you would not be paying back extra money and extra tax to the British government.
No.
Yeah?
No, you wouldn't.
So they're charging you for the money which is cost to
But a majority of, but that's the 1 in 10. If
those are outside Britain.
Yeah, 9 in 10 are going to stay here. Okay, so if 9 in 10 are going to stay here, that 1 in 10 doesn't really matter. And the government already knows that when this person goes abroad, they're exporting British education, British culture, British this and that. They're creating prestige for British education. Okay,
Britain's already and always had good prestige for the education system.
It used to, but now it's dropping like a stone due to them changing think for yourself to parrot what we say.
Say again, education in Britain is not the same.
It's not what it used to be. No, yeah, okay. Because the education before was you were taught to think for yourself.
Yeah.
Now you are taught to think what the government wants you to think, or the liberal leftist elite want you to think.
Right, I know a Chinese boy. His parents only too willing to pay whatever it costs to get him into a British school.
Of course.
He said a British school education for the degree, university degree, not 8 years old, that is very valuable in China.
Of course it is.
He said to get an education in any English-speaking country, especially England.
Yes, that's prestige.
England.
It's prestige. It's prestige.
Yes, status.
Exactly. Yes. There you go. I could afford. It is going down. It is going down. It's very going down. It's dropping.
A lot of foreigners come to England.
It doesn't matter if they come here for the prestige. Prestige.
You just said it's going down.
It is, yes, but the prestige is still there. Oh, I went to Oxford. Oh, I went to Cambridge.
Yes.
Oh, you know.
Opened many doors.
Exactly, exactly. I know. You know. I don't even want to know about that stuff. I went to. I've got the old boys network. I got the old boys school. Yeah, I went to a public school.
Right.
I went to fee-paying school.
Right.
All right. Okay. So I know what it's all about. All right. It's all about connections and stuff like this. Okay.
But the education system is good in Oxford. Right. I knew someone who went to Oxford. To learn English. He wanted to be an English teacher. After 1 year, he chucked it in. He said it was too hard. He couldn't keep up. They were just chucking so much work at him, he couldn't cope. He said, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown.
I know people who went to Oxford and they're morons.
I can only speak about the people I have met.
I know people who went to Cambridge who are morons.
Right, I only speak about the people I know.
So, you know, it's not, the thing is...
You have to be highly qualified to get in there in the first place.
Yes, because the education system has changed. Now it's about what you can memorize and how much of a good parrot you are, rather than how much can you think for yourself. That's why we have continuous testing. Why are they testing? To see how effective it is to get people to parrot the official line.
How else are you going to measure things if you don't test continually?
You measure. You can't. I'm not saying not to do testing.
You must have tests.
Obviously to do testing, but people are not taught to learn or to be educated. They're taught to the test. So you are taught how to pass the test.
Just to pass the test.
Exactly. That's why a lot of children, when especially like my cousin, right? I'm not going to say his name or anything, but he, you know, a few of them, you know, they become doctors, and you know, what's it called, dentists or whatever, right? But you know, sometimes when I talk to some of them, all right, about politics, about this or about that, or geography or this and that, they haven't got a clue about what's going on, okay? And they can't even understand what's being explained to them. Why? Because they were taught to the test. So they were not taught to think for themselves. They were taught to parrot what society tells them.
Right, the only thing I can comment is I'm a lot older than you.
Yeah, of course.
And the way I was taught was you must understand, understand, understand.
Yes.
I go to China quite a lot, and out there it's remember, remember, remember.
Exactly.
And every question is A, B, C, D, just tick the right answer.
Yeah.
It's an easy way for them to mark the exam.
Yes.
Yeah? And that is not how you learn
That's how
anything.
the Americans do it as well.
That's not how you learn
Exactly.
anything. No one's going to say to you,
Yeah.
is that a cup?
Yep.
Is that a car? Is
Yeah.
that a motorbike? Or D, is that an umbrella? They're going to say, what is that?
Yeah, of course.
So the education system that I have seen in China is stupid.
Of course.
They came over to England for 1 week, the children. We got them in a private school. They said it's brilliant. The education system in England is far superior.
Exactly.
The boy who went to university 3 years ago in Glasgow, he said the education system in England is far superior to what you get in China.
The education system here, though, is changing. And it's becoming like the Chinese system. If you go to India or Pakistan, their education level there blows the education level here out of the water. They may not have all the facilities or all the, the technical ability to study, higher technical products or whatever, but
their basics are there.
But their basics are there. The maths, the science, the the reading, the writing, etc. It's all there. Here, it's nowhere. And the reason why here it's being lost is because you are taught to the test, right? They don't want. The government and the industrialists, they don't want people who can think for themselves. They want good workers.
Who do what they're told to do.
Exactly. That's it.
You want to be kept down?
Yes,
like this.
yes, exactly. Exactly. That's why in China, they have that, remember this sort of system.
They do have, because they don't want people questioning what their government does.
And over here,
or thinking for themselves.
and over here, they are slowly changing our education system to match something that is along those lines, where you are just taught to think what the lecturer teaches you, rather than to think for yourself.
Whatever he says is true.
Exactly. Propaganda. Education as propaganda.
I can't really say much because I'm not in the education system now. I can only say what I was taught when I was there, but you're going back 40 years when I was at school.
Exactly. So when you were at school,
it was different.
It was the top style of education.
You didn't pay to university, it was free.
Exactly. There you go. When I went, it was free as well.
Yeah.
Thankfully, all my family, they got their degree, whatnot. I'm the black sheep. I didn't get my degree.
Right.
I went to university and I was like, this is so boring.
What was your subject?
I was doing computer science and business and stuff like this.
You got a fantastic job with that.
It's but you see, I didn't want to sit at a desk.
Looking at a computer?
Yeah.
So why did you do computing as a degree? Logic. Give me a logical answer.
Basically, I've had computers since I was a really young kid.
So you're really into it?
So I was really into it. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Just do this. It's an interesting subject, and I'm more interested in business anyway. Because computer science, you can always pay someone to do their work for you.
Yeah, but you've done business and computing.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Oh right, yeah.
Okay, I did computer science and business.
Reader. I didn't tell you that, did I? Yeah.
Okay, so I did business science and computing.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so boring. You know what I mean? Because I'd go to the lesson, I'd know it, and
you already knew what he was going to tell you.
Yeah, I already knew what he was going to tell me or whatever, and then have to wait for the class to catch up. Yeah. And so I tell you what, I passed all my GCSEs. Yeah. Okay, I got 11 GCSEs. Yeah. And I did not go to school for 80% of year 11. I bunked 80% of year 11. But because I went to a private school, like I said, fee-paying school, they couldn't expel me. Right. You know what I mean? So they had to let me sit my exams. Yeah. They had to accept my coursework, all of that. And so I passed all of my GCSEs with, just by going to school for year 10 for about half of it, and missing about half of year 11. Yeah. My teacher, Mr. Frajani, he was my form tutor. He used to basically call my parents all the time, oh, your son's not turning up, your son's not turning up, whatever, But I passed all of my GCSEs. Why? Because I was still learning, even though I wasn't in the classroom. I was learning myself, okay, I better learn. I better learn this or I better learn that or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Stuff I didn't need to learn, I wasn't bothered with. But things I need to learn, I learned them. I didn't get a C grade. I never got a grade below C.
Right.
So even with that,
very well.
Yeah. So and the only grade I failed on was Arabic. Right. Because I went to Arab school here in London. Right. So I failed in Arabic. I got a U in that, Right.
But if you go to private school, from what I've seen, the class numbers are going to be small.
Yeah, there's only 22 people in a class. Right. There's only 2 forms and there's only 44 people in one class.
Right, so that's going to work to your advantage because they're going more at your speed. When I've been to China, there's 82 people in the class.
Even like here how it is. Like in my school, the guy in year 7, do the guy who was in the sixth form.
Right.
Even though normally you wouldn't know that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In my school,
it was such a small number.
Because it was such a small number.
They were all mixing.
Yeah, everybody knew who everybody was.
Yeah.
You know, and in that school, it was a Muslim school.
So that's what you're paying for.
Yeah.
The teacher ratio to pupil is very small.
Yeah, of course.
Pupil to teacher is very small.
And in that school, there were never any fights, except once, like a proper fight.
That's 2 teachers.
No. That was basically because everybody was Muslim there, so there was no like racism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You couldn't. No one would let you say anything to a black Muslim. You get knocked out.
Yeah.
Or if you say something to like a half white, half Arab Muslim, they'd beat you up. You know why are you saying that? You know he's a Muslim brother, or whatever. Yeah. So there was none of that allowed. But there used to be only one type of fight, and that was nationalism.
Right.
Okay, so you know when the Iraq War happened originally, so there was fights between Iraqis and Kuwaitis over that, but there would never be fights between an Iraqi or a Saudi and a Nigerian or a Saudi or an Egyptian over any other things, because it wasn't tolerated. The other guys wouldn't tolerate it. The other students, they wouldn't tolerate it. They wouldn't put up with it. Forget with the teachers. I remember there was one other fight, it was over a girl, But even though we were a boys-only school, it was over a girl.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, normal.
That's acceptable.
Yeah, of course. But there was no other type of fights, that I remember.
So how long have you been a Muslim?
All my life, born and raised.
Oh, right.
On the playground of London, I spent most of my days, I tell you, like I said to you before, Islam is very simple.
Yeah.
As long as you believe that there is one creator, there is nothing like, and no one created him.
Yeah.
And he has no beginning, no end.
He's the original.
He's the original.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't have to believe everything else.
Yeah.
Maybe because I can't explain it to you, you don't understand, you don't comprehend.
No.
But if you don't even have this minimum requirement, God does not owe you nothing on Judgment Day. You know what I mean? He's not interested in you at all. At least if you got that one requirement, like, look, God, I believed in you, but I could not understand, whatever.
Yeah.
God has said he's all merciful,
I did not understand which was the correct religion to get through the gates of heaven.
because I couldn't understand, no one could explain it to me, whatever. And as long as you're truthful on that basis, God will give you a chance on Judgment Day. God has said, there's a chance for people on Judgment Day who never got the message or who couldn't understand or comprehend what they were being taught. There's a chance for them on Judgment Day. You know what I mean? But if you don't even believe in any of this stuff, then you don't believe in God, or you believe he's triune, or he's more than one, or he has a son, or this or that, then you've got no chance with God on Judgment Day. So I would suggest that the best thing to do is, even if you can't believe, because you already believe that there's a creator, or there's something slightly
special which you can't get your head around.
There you go. So just accept that you believe that there is a creator.
There's something,
so just accept,
beyond my power of comprehension.
Exactly. So I would say to you, just accept that there is a creator. So you accept there's a creator, right? That you don't understand, wherever.
I don't understand, but there must have been someone,
there you
something.
Go. There you go. So if there was that someone or something, that you would have sent people messages, or would have sent people indications of what is the correct way. You know what I mean? Would you agree to that?
Would I agree that he would have sent? Not really, because I'm an atheist.
No, but you're not really a traditional atheist, are you? Because you already accepted that there's something.
They call me an agnostic.
Exactly, there you go. Yes. All right. So as an
I don't believe in religion, but I believe there's something created.
So God created everybody.
Not an atheist.
So God has created everybody. He's created the universe, created everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And the purpose of life, that in my opinion is already, like I said, to get to heaven. Yeah. Right.
That's your aim is.
That's your aim. Your purpose of life is to get to heaven, right? Okay. Now, if God is giving you, we've accepted that God is a creator. There's a creator, right? Both of us, right? I've accepted that there is a purpose to get to heaven, and you've accepted that there's no purpose. Once you're dead, you're dead. All right?
Yeah.
Now,
that's the end.
That's the end. Now, if there is a purpose, and God created humanity, okay, then He would have sent people to come and give the message, right?
Yeah.
That's logical, right? Yeah. Because God is not going to be like, here's a Ferrari, I'm not going to teach you how to drive it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's an instructor.
Exactly. So these messengers are instructors in a way. Yeah. Okay. So which is more relevant? Assalamu alaikum, bro, man. So which is more relevant then? Which is more likely, sorry?
Which is more likely?
Yeah. Is it more likely that if
he sent messages?
Yes. Yeah. Think about it. You've been created. Look at life. Look at life. You know what I mean? Where there's something unique about humanity that no other species has.
Right. using that argument, the Buddhist would say, well, Buddha was sent by the God, yes?
Buddhists believe Buddha is God.
Oh, do they? Well, that's how little I know about Buddhism, right?
Exactly, there you go.
But all the other religions would think that they have been sent messiahs and
Exactly,
things like that.
exactly. So you have to go through logical basis. And then we already agreed that you cannot say that there are multiple gods. Because who's driving the wheel? Which God is driving the wheel? Yeah.
كن سعيدا كن فريدا عش بفخر في الحياة لا تبالي